Hi, everybody. This is me on my ride to Moab on September 19th, 2014. This is Highway 50 through Nevada. It's called the loneliest highway in America, and I believe it because fuel stops are few and far between. I went out there to meet my buddy Doug. Here's Doug and me in Arches National Park, which we camped right next to. This was the entire trip. It was 2,500 miles in 6 days and included 5 states. I rode this bike, a 2013 V-Strom 650, threw some luggage on it, and headed out to Utah and Colorado, and a tiny bit of New Mexico by Four Corners. This is a quick glimpse here of Colorado. It was just gorgeous. But back to day one, back to Highway 50 eastbound. I was hoping to make it past Ely, Nevada, to camp out there, and I needed some fuel, so I came across Eureka, and they had a very well preserved opera house from 1864. Gorgeous. So it started to get dark, and I found some BLM land and camped out. Here's the original audio.
I camped here last night, the 19th. This is about 5 miles east of Ely, Nevada. It was good.
That audio's from the little handheld GoPro-like device I was using to shoot all of this. So this is the next day in Utah. The scenery started to get much more interesting the farther east I went. So I came across Highway 70 in Utah, and at this point, I was on Highway 191 southbound coming up on Moab. This is the highway that goes right through Moab. You can see the blow up of that right there.
Welcome to Utah. Welcome to Moab. It's about time now.
I know. It really is.
Yeah, we have a great spot here for sure. We're surrounded by canyons and river.
Go, Doug, go. So our campsite was right next to Arches National Park and the Colorado River. It was gorgeous. Here we are in Arches.
We're here at the Double Arch. This is 144 feet across. It's the third largest arc in the park. Pretty radical. We're going to walk across the top of it next.
So that's me standing on a little rock underneath this thing. You can just barely see me at the bottom of that pic. And this is out in Moab, out in the riding area. We went out in Doug's rental car to explore things like this famous Porcupine Rim Trail, or what I wanted to see was Slick Rock Trail. These trails were started by motorcyclists, and now a lot of bicyclists use them as well. But these are unique. They're all on granite. They're marked very well. They go for miles, and it's just an amazing spot. We just walked it a little bit, checked it out, got tired, then found the Moab Brewery. Hey now. So we camped that night and then headed out the next morning. This is the Hole in the Rock, which is a sort of gift shop, tourist trap, but it's actually a 5,000 square foot house that somebody carved out of the rock. So that's Highway 191 south out of Moab. Doug was following me in his car, and he decided to shoot a little video and do some commentating. We only had about 3 hours to get to Telluride.
Yo, yo, yo! It's a whole ride! Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
There he is, man on a mission. Standing up and riding a motorcycle at the same time? Well, that's just fucking crazy.
Some of Doug's video was a little blurry. He posted it on YouTube, and I pulled it off of there and used it, so we lost a little something. But here we are in southwest Colorado. This is Highway 145, heading up toward Telluride. The base of Telluride's 8,700 feet, and then the peak is 13,000, so this terrain was stunning. Doug found out that the gondola runs year-round at Telluride, so we got on it and rode from Telluride over to Mountain Village, which is the newer part of the ski area. We also checked out, this is the base of Telluride over on the old side. Lots of mountain biking going on in the summer. That's one of the trails down a ski run right there.
We are making the descent down. Look at that tourist over there.
What tourist?
I
don't see a
I'm a tourist too. Everywhere you look around here, 360-degree, bam. Wait, bang!
This is Mountain Village. There are restaurants and hotels and shops. That's the Franz Klammer Lodge right there that Doug's pointing out. It was a truly beautiful spot at the base of a gondola. This is the Green Room, legal recreational marijuana. So we left Telluride and went to Ouray. It's known as the Switzerland of America, and it really does feel like you're in another country. But this is the only night where we grabbed a hotel room. That's it right there. Here's a couple shots of Ouray. The next morning, Doug and I split up. He had a long drive back to Pennsylvania, and I had about a 2-day ride back to Reading. There was a great old hotel there in Ouray. So this is the next morning. I was loading up, getting ready to go.
It's been real, Paul. Another tear-jerking goodbye here, but he's on to some good stuff. Monument Valley, 550 South through Silverton, Durango. Woohoo! Yeah. Anyway, safe travels, my friend. Thanks for meeting up.
All right, this Highway 550 southbound from Ouray down to Durango was probably the best part of the whole trip. Some of the passes were 11,000 feet high, and the peaks were almost 14,000 feet high. This section's called the $1 Million Highway. They said it may have cost $1 million a mile back in 1920 to dig the road. Or I read that maybe they found so much gold while digging the road that it got the nickname the $1 Million Highway. Doug knew how good this road was and encouraged me to take it, and I'm so glad I did. Great call, Doug. It went on like this for an hour, and it was just stunning. The camera doesn't do it justice at all. In fact, this fisheye lens makes everything look small and far away. There's a scene coming up here that really looks like you're not even in the United States. Just a beautiful meadow with changing colors. Right there. That picture is burned in my memory. I wish you guys could see it in person. So from Durango, I headed southwest to Monument Valley. This is just west of the Four Corners area. It's in the Navajo Nation, and this is Highway 163. Oh yeah, and a bull right by the side of the road. That was shocking. But the heart of Monument Valley is right on the Arizona-Utah border, just west of the Four Corners States area. Monument Valley is near the center of the Colorado Plateau, and the valley floor is about 5,000 or 6,000 feet in elevation. The monuments themselves stick up about 1,000 feet. This is still Highway 163 northbound. The plan was to pick up Highway 261 once I got into Utah, and that would take me through Valley of the Gods, and then I had to climb a cliff face. So this is the border of Arizona and Utah. This is the cliff face called Mokai Dugway, and this is what it looked like from Valley of the Gods on Highway 261. Notice the Jeep right in the center. This thing was huge and slippery. And this was looking back at Valley of the Gods on Highway. You could see Highway 261 there. This is Highway 95 northwestbound, heading toward Lake Powell and the Glen Canyon Recreation Area. You can see Lake Powell in the center there. The Hollow Mountain was in Hanksville, Utah. I got fuel there. This store was literally carved out of a mountain. The walls were rock. And this is heading up toward the Colorado River again. You'll see it in this deep gorge right here. This is the extreme northeast of Lake Powell, right there. And this was continuing on up toward Highway 24 westbound in Utah. I had never been up in this area. It was very remote, hardly any traffic, but just gorgeous. And it was a perfect 70 degrees. Day 5 was winding down. I had about 1,000 miles to go to get home, and I wanted to get to Bryce Canyon and camp near there, but I only made it to Escalante. I grabbed some food and fuel there, and then threw my tent out where I thought it was BLM land, but it actually ended up being inside Grand Staircase National Monument. Didn't mean to, but it was a nice place to camp. And it looked like this. Slept very well, no problems at all. So this was the last day of my trip, day 6. I had about 830 miles to get home. This was Highway 12 through Utah. I didn't take any pictures of Bryce Canyon. We've all seen it, but it was a beautiful ride. And I went through Cedar City and then took Highway 56 west out of Cedar City and crossed here into Nevada. The little green sign said Panaca, and that was a small town in Nevada where I got some fuel. Also, the highway designation changed at the state line from Highway 56 to Highway 319. So this was northbound on Highway 93 in Nevada, and it was just gorgeous, very remote. I didn't see another car for about an hour. So I took this up to Ely and then headed west back across Highway 50 and then Reno and then Susanville, and started getting dark. And I hit a thunderstorm right as I was coming back into Redding. So the last 30 minutes of the ride, I got soaked and it was thundering, and I just peeled off all my stuff and ended the 16-hour day like this. Want to say a big thanks to Doug. He got this trip going and drove a long ways out from Pennsylvania, and this won't be our last trip. In fact, 16 years ago, we were doing roughly the same thing.